Open your browser right now and count the tabs: a writing assistant, a meeting summarizer, a research tool, and maybe 2 different chatbots. If your setup looks like a software graveyard with a subscription bell attached, you aren't alone. Most teams adopted these one at a time, each solving a single narrow problem. The expectation was that more tools would lead to more time, but somewhere around tool number 6, the savings started to disappear. This chart from ActiveTrack's 2026 State of the Workplace report tracks that shift. In just 2 years, the average organization went from using 2 AI tools to 7. However, the behavioral data shows a massive gap between adoption and actual use. 57% of employees spend less than 1% of their day actually inside those tools. Only a tiny 3% sliver of workers land in the usage range that correlates with peak productivity. We treated AI like a collection of magic gadgets rather than a system. We counted the tools we adopted instead of the workflows we actually finished. Productivity depends on how much of your workflow runs from start to finish without interruption. Bolting a hyper-specific, disconnected AI tool onto that process creates a break in the flow. We call these breaks seams, the literal gaps where a task splinters across different applications. Seams are where time leaks out. Every seam requires you to stop and decide which app to open, re-explain the context to a new bot, and copy-paste results between windows that don't talk to each other. Adding a 7th tool doesn't make the system faster. It just adds a 7th place you have to check before the work is done. Context is lost every time work passes across a seam. Because these individual bots aren't designed to communicate, the information becomes fragmented. Researchers at Stanford and BetterUp have seen the result of this fragmentation: work slop. This is AI-generated output that looks finished but is actually low quality or off-target because the tool didn't have the full picture. This graphic shows the relationship between time saved and time lost. Workday's 2026 research found that fixing work slop eats up nearly 40% of the time AI was supposed to save in the first place. Instead of focusing on core objectives, workers are pushed into the role of a manual translator, constantly cleaning up output that didn't quite fit the workflow. McKinsey's 2025 State of AI survey found a clear divide between organizations experimenting with AI and those seeing actual financial returns. The successful groups were twice as likely to have redesigned their end-to-end workflows before choosing their software. They built the path first and only then looked for the tools to power it. For an existing bloated stack, this requires a keep, kill, or combine audit. Every tool is sorted based on its role in a continuous loop. This process relies on selecting an anchor tool, a single platform that owns a core workflow from start to finish. Any remaining software must natively integrate into that anchor. If a tool requires you to manually shuttle information, it creates a seam and must be cut. Companies that restructure their work this way see the gains the original hype promised. Goldman Sachs found that a redesigned system saves employees an average of 40 to 60 minutes every day. True technological leverage comes from fewer, deeper implementations. The goal is a workday where information moves to done without you playing translator between products that were never meant to speak to each other.